तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to our daily morning reading of Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you all for joining. And once again, please forget me for joining in late because of my Zoom issues. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. With folded hands, I bow down to the lotus feet of our entire Guru Parampara, beginning with Lord Krishna, through Brahma, Narada, Vyasa, and all the acharyas in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. And I offer my respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace Asish Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is the empowered ambassador of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. I also pray for the causeless mercy and permission of my spiritual master, whose mercy can cause miracles. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatam ham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Guru's mercy can turn even a dumb person into a very eloquent speaker, and it can enable even a crippled person, a pangu, who can't even walk properly. Mercy can make him jump and cross over huge mountains. So mercy of Guru can empower even the most unqualified or helpless soul to overcome their greatest obstacles, their inner obstacles in spiritual life. So I beg for that mercy because I am unqualified and I am full of faults, and yet I am engaged in this service meant for the glorification of the Lord. And I also offer my respects to all the Vaishnavas. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Kindly bless me so that this, my humble endeavor, may be pleasing to all of you. Okay, so today we are resuming our reading from where we had paused it at the start of Kartik month, which is Canto 2, the Cosmic Manifestation, Chapter 2, titled The Lord in the Heart. So we'll go through just a quick summary. In Canto 1, we saw King Parikshit gives up everything and he prepares for death. He asks Sukdev Goswami, what is the most ideal thing a dying person should do? Then in Canto 2, Sukdev Goswami begins by teaching how Virat Roop, the universal form of the Lord. And in Canto 2, when we came to Chapter 2, our current chapter, so this chapter describes how a yogi prepares to leave the material world by meditating on the Lord. So this chapter, it began with, explaining that Lord Brahma, he also once meditated on the universal form of the Lord to regain his spiritual vision. And then the chapter described that people often get distracted by temporary pleasures like heavenly enjoyment. But wise persons, they avoid such kind of goals, such illusory goals. They try to live a very simple, uncomplicated life, taking from Prakriti, the material nature, only what is needed for keeping the body and the soul together. So a wise person worships, he meditates on the super soul, Paramatma within the heart, which is a beautiful form of the Lord, also with four arms, ornaments, a smiling face. So such yogi meditates on Paramatma, on Lord within the heart. So he meditates on the form of the Lord from Lord's feet upwards to the face, so that he purifies his own mind. So like this, for an advanced yogi, for a detached yogi, Dharanashray, the shelter for his meditation, the focus of his meditation is a super soul, Paramatma within the heart. But one who is not yet detached, one who is not fully devoted to Lord yet, one that person may still meditate on Virat Rup, the universal form of the Lord. So when the yogi is ready to die, it was described by Shukdev Goswami previously in the chapter. When the yogi is ready to die, he or she should sit peacefully, control the senses and the pranavayu, life air, and then gradually lift their own consciousness towards the Supreme Lord. So two options, if he has no material desires, then he can leave his body and attain liberation. But if he still has some desires, like, for material pleasures, like reaching to heavenly higher planets, then he carries those desires with him. So in the end, the perfected yogi travels through the universe and gradually becomes purified, and then gradually, finally, they reach the Supreme Lord Hari. Now, this is not as easy and simple as it sounds in theory. The Paramatma meditator, as we said, if they have no other desires, they attain direct liberation. But for yogi who still has desires, as we said, has to go through the journey, which is called krama mukti, gradual liberation. And this is what we have in the verses 22 to 32 of our chapter, Canto 2, chapter 2. So we have read up to verse 24, and today we will go to verse 25. But before going there, just so that we know the context, let me quickly read just the translations of some previous verses, maybe 23 and 24, to refresh our memories, because it's been a whole month gap. So verse 23 we will read. The transcendentalists are concerned with spiritual body. As such, by the strength of their devotional service, austerities, mystic power, and transcendental knowledge, their movements are unrestricted within and beyond the material worlds. The fruitive workers or the gross materialists can never move in such an unrestricted manner. Let's go to verse 24. O king, when such a mystic passes over the Milky Way by the illuminating Shushumna to reach the highest planet Brahmaloka, he goes first to Vaishvanar, the planet of the deity of fire, where he becomes completely cleansed of all contaminations, and therefore he still goes higher to the circle of Shishumar, the to relate with Lord Hari, the personality of Godhead. We'll go to verse 25, our today's verse now. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktirvavati naishtiki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam 2:25. Tad Vishwanabhim Tvativartya Vishnor अणीयसा वीरजेनात्मनैकः नमस्कृतं ब्रह्मविदामुपैति कल्पायुषो यद्विबुधारमन्ते. Word to word. Tat, that, Vishwa Nabhim, navel of the universal personality of Godhead. Two, but, Ativartya, crossing over. Vishnoho, of Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. Aniyasa, due to mystic perfection. Virajena, by the purified. Atmana, by the living entity. Ekaha, alone. Namaskritam, worshipable. Brahma Vidam, by those who are transcendentally situated. Upaiti, reaches. Kalpayushaha, a period of 4,300,000,000 solar years. Yat, the place. Vibudhaha, self-realized souls. Ramante, do enjoy. Translation by Krishna Kripamurti, His Loving Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This Shishumar is the pivot for the turning of the complete universe, and it is called the navel of Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. The yogi alone goes beyond this circle of Shishumar and attains the planet Maharlok, where purified saints like Bhrigu enjoy a duration of life of 4,300,000,000 solar years. This planet is worshipable even for saints who are transcendentally situated. Now, there is no purport by Srila Prabhupada, so we will not comment as well. We'll go to verse 26 now. Atho anantasya mukhanalena dandahyamanam sanirikshya vishvam निर्याति सिद्धेश्वरयुष्टधिष्ण्यम् यद्वै पराध्यं तदुपारमेष्ठ्यम्. Word to word. Atho, thereupon, Anantasya, of Ananta, the resting incarnation of Godhead. Mukha analena, by the fire emanating from his mouth. Dandahyamanam, burning to ashes. Saha, he. Nirikshya, by seeing this. Vishwam, the universe. Niryati, goes out. Siddheshwara Yushta Dhishnyam, airplanes used by the great purified souls. Yat, the place. Dvai Paradhyam, 15,480,000,000,000 years. Tat, that. U, the exalted. Parameshtyam, Satyalok, where Brahma resides. Translation by Krishna Kripamurti, His Loving Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. At the time of the final devastation of the complete universe, the end of duration of Brahma's life, a flame of fire emanates from the mouth of Ananta, from bottom of the universe. The yogi sees all the planets of the universe burning to ashes, and thus he leaves for Satyalok by airplanes used by the great purified souls. The duration of life in Satyalok is calculated to be 15,480,000,000,000 years. Would anyone like to read this purport, please?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, I can.
Yes, please.
Yes. It is indicated herein that residents of Maharloka, where the purified living entities or demigods possess a duration of life calculated to be 4.3 million solar years, have airship by which they reach Satyaloka, the topmost planet of the universe. In other words, the Srimad Bhagavatam gives us many clues about other planets far, far away from us, which modern planes and spacecraft cannot reach, even by imaginary speed. The statements of Srimad Bhagavatam are accepted by great acharyas like Sridhar Swami, Ramanujacharya and Vallabhacharya. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu specifically accepted Srimad Bhagavatam as the spotless Vedic authority, and as such, no sane man can ignore the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. When it is spoken by the self realized soul, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who follows in the footsteps of his great father, Srila Vyasadeva, the compiler of all Vedic literature. In the creation of the Lord, there are many wonderful things we can see with our own eyes every day and night, but we are unable to reach them, equipped by modern materialistic science. We should not, therefore, depend on the fragmentary authority of materialistic science for knowing things beyond the range of scientific review. For a common man, both modern science and Vedic wisdom are simply to be accepted because none of the statements, either of modern science or of Vedic literature, can be verified by him. The alternative for a common man is to believe either of them or both of them. The Vedic way of understanding, however, is more authentic because it has been accepted by the Acharya, who are not only faithful and learned men but also liberated souls, without any of the flaws of conditioned souls. The modern scientists, however, are conditioned souls, liable to do so many errors and mistakes. Therefore, the safe side is to accept the authentic version of the Vedic literatures like Srimad Bhagavatam, which is accepted unanimously by the great acharyas.
Thank you so much, Rukmani Mataji. So many new informations, new technical information we are also hearing in these verses, verse 24 and 25 and 26. So this is such a contrast from the sweet Leela we were relishing until yesterday, isn't it? So let's start from the word Shishumar. That was in verse 24. So that verse 24 and 25, they are talking about the concept of Shishumar. So what is it? So to explain this, I will give you a simple example. So sun is a planet we see, right? Sun is a planet. Science also agrees. But in Vedic understanding, sun is also a devata, a deity, a person. And similarly, in Vedic cosmology, Shishumar is a planetary formation. It is a wheel-like pattern of stars that rotates around the Dhruvaloka. So Dhruvaloka is something non-Vedic people also know as pole star. So the Shishumar is a wheel-like pattern that rotates around Dhruvaloka. So this Shishumar formation, it looks like dolphin in Sanskrit, which is also called Shishumar. So that's why it is called Shishumar. But apart from being that planetary formation, in Vedic understanding, it is also a celestial representation of Lord Vishnu in the sky. So Shishumar is also considered a deity, a form which yogis meditate upon. So this form is shaped like, as we said, it's like a coiled dolphin or a serpent. And this is not just symbolic, but Shishumar, when we study Vedic cosmology in Canto 5, we will learn more about this. So Shishumar, it also gives us the cosmic map of different planets and stars and all the divine beings. So for now, to understand Shishumar, just think of a dolphin-shaped celestial form which represents the structure of the universe. So that is Shishumar. So the yogis, they worship this form. They meditate on this form to connect with Lord Hari, Lord Vishnu in the cosmos. And meditating on this cosmic form helps them go beyond, go out of this material, transcend the material world, especially during their final journey back to Lord Hari. So Shishumar is not just an ordinary constellation, but it is a manifestation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So similar to how the Virat Rup, universal form, is also seen in the different material elements. So this is all a part of a subject called Vedic cosmology. Um, and in Vedic cosmology, there are two terms, macrocosm and microcosm. What it means is the macro means bigger, right? So macrocosm is the entire universe with all the galaxies, planets, and all the cosmic beings. And microcosm, it refers to the individual living being, a soul, a jivatma, who has a body, mind, and intelligence. So, in simple words, the universe is a big version of us, and we are a small version of the universe. So, the Shishumar, it shows how the same divine order and structure which is found within the universe is also reflected within us. The same order and structure is there within individual body that is assigned to individual souls as well. For example, let's read the verse 24 again. O king, when such a mystic passes over the Milky Way by the illuminating Shushumna to reach the highest planet Brahmalok, he goes first to Vaishvanar, the planet of the deity of fire. Now, the word Vaishvanar, for those who studied Bhagavad Gita, is not new for them. It's a very famous verse. Krishna says, Bhagavad Gita 15.14. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritah Pranapanasamaयुktah Pachamyannam Chaturvidham. Krishna himself says that he is present within us also as Vaishvanar, the digestive fire which transforms Chaturvidha, annam, four kinds of anna, different. So basically, this Vaishvanar, the fire, transforms matter, the food that we eat, into prana, the life force, the energy, what we say in simple terms. So that is also Krishna. Vaishvanar, the digestive fire within us, is also Krishna. So internally within our body, Vaishvanar is the fire of digestion, the energy that allows us to metabolize food that we eat and then sustain this body, sustain our life. But the Vaishvanar, our verse 2:24 is talking about, is Vaishvanar outside of us. So externally, cosmically, Vaishvanar is the planet of Agni Dev. That's what it said in the translation. Vaishvanar, the planet of deity of fire, Agni Dev, fire deity. So mundane people think that fire is fire. You put a spark on wood, there is fire, that is science. But Vedic understanding is much, much deeper. What does fire do? Fire makes the food eatable. It cleanses the food of all other elements like bacteria, so that when we eat the food, it can become one with the totality of energy within us. So if food, if we can't digest it, it becomes stool, and it goes to energy. If we the part of food that gets digested, it becomes the energy. So when it becomes stool, it gets expelled next day. So stool gets merged into earth. It goes through various cycles, transformations, until it becomes mergeable with Prakriti. And if we talk about plastic, why are we so concerned about plastic? Because it cannot recycle easily. It cannot become one with Prakriti. So that's why it's very important to go back to where we came from. So similarly, a soul, if it can't merge with the totality, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then soul also goes to waste. So, anyways, we were talking about Vaishvanar. Fire makes food mergeable. Either food becomes energy or food becomes stool, right? So Vaishvanar, uh, within us, it's a fire, but Vaishvanar is also a place, a planet of the fire deity, which is like within us, the fire Vaishvanar is cleansing the food that we eat. It's cleansing and making it ready to be mergeable. So this planet, Vaishvanar, the planet of fire deity Agnidev, is also a cleansing realm for the yogi as he passes through on his way to higher lokas. So, Vaishvanar we can understand is like a cleaning station for the ascending soul, the soul that is going up from the material planet. So, why I describe the whole thing about Vaishvanar is to give evidence that what I said earlier, this is an evidence that the universe is a big version of us and we are a small version of the universe, macrocosm and microcosm. One more example. The same verse 24 is also talking about another word, Shushumna. It says, when such a mystic passes over the Milky Way by the illuminating Sushumna to reach the highest planet, Brahmaloka. He goes first to Vaishvanar, the planet of deity of fire. So, what does this tell us? So those who know a little bit about Ayurveda, they know that Shushumna is also a nadi channel within our body. So within our pranamaya body. So Shushumna is the central energy channel in our subtle body, our pranamaya body. So we know the Sushumna, when we learn about the chakras and all, then we know about the Sushumna. So Sushumna runs along the spine from the base of spine where there is Muladhara chakra, runs from Muladhara chakra, base of spine to the crown of head where we have Sahasrara chakra. So Sushumna also has, two side channels, Ida and Pingla. Ida is the moon, the left side, and Pingla is the sun, the right side. So through Shushumna, the spiritual energy, Kundalini Shakti, rises when the yogi is in deep meditation. And when Sushumna is awakened, that is called yogic awakening. So like Vaishvanar, Sushumna, like Vaishvanar is a fire within body, something within our body, right? Sushumna is also a channel within our body. But what our verse 2 to 24 is saying is that this cosmic Sushumna is a path, a mystic path through which these perfected yogis travel at the time of death. So the inner Sushumna is like the entrance into outer Sushumna. Yogi first goes through this process internally. As the yogi perfects the meditation, the prana, life force, is raised through Sushumna Nadi, ultimately leading the soul to exit the body through Brahmarandra, top of the head, and then enter into the cosmic Sushumna pathway to higher realms. So this is again proving the macrocosm and microcosm. Now these all may look like very new terms, but if I want try to give a practical example, we know that the movement of stars, they affect our mind and emotions, right? Why? Because the same Lord Narayan who resides in our heart as Paramatma, Super Soul, he also resides in the heart of the Shishumar form. The sun, the moon, planets, nakshatras, all the stars in the Shishumar, they correspond to the chakras, the energy centers within our body. So, Vedic cosmology how the planets are arranged in the universe, that subject. And another subject, Vedic astrology. These two are deeply interconnected subjects. We see uh, in the fifth canto, when we go, we see more description of the Shishumar planetary system. So, there in fifth canto, it is described that each part of the Shishumar cosmic body, this cosmic body, each part has different specific deities and planets and stars. So, the mouth of Shishumar is ruled by Mars. His heart is ruled. His heart is the seat of Lord Narayan. His neck is ruled by planet Jupiter. His genitals are ruled by Saturn. His mind is ruled by Moon. And all the nakshatras like Abhijit and Pushya and Ardra, they are placed on either side of Shishumar. So, how astrologers predict is astrologers use this kind of information from Vedic scriptures to track what is happening in the universe, the planetary influence on human behavior, to predict a human's destiny, and also their spiritual growth. But we are in Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is all about, it should be all about Bhakta and Bhagwan, right? So then why is there Shishumar in Srimad Bhagavatam? Why yogis meditate on Shishumar? Because for yogis and transcendentalists, meditating on Shishumar is a way to connect to the universal body of the Lord. It helps them transcend the material limitations of their body and realize that I am one with creation, the oneness with the whole creation. With the Lord. So, Shishumar is a visual and meditating tool for yogis to remind them that, we are not separate from the universe, we are not separate from the Supreme. So, the Shishumar form is not some story or some mythology Bhagavatam or other Vedic scriptures are describing. It comes in other Puranas as well. So this is all, this Vedic cosmology is all very deep science in itself. It cannot be myth. The fine details like the distances and, we saw billion and trillion, duration of life and the solar years and all these details, these fine details like distance, they are so precisely described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, which is also telling us that Shishumar is a cosmic reality, which is described by Vyasadeva here in Bhagavatam to help us understand that we are not some random beings in some meaningless accidental universe. We are all connected to everything, and everything is connected to Krishna, and everything is a part of a big plan of Krishna, and everything is very systematic. So while we read this, we have as our purport is Prabhupada is also trying to convey to us. It is we have two aspects in front of us. We have the limits of modern science versus we have authority of Vedic wisdom. And in the purport of verse 26, Srila Prabhupada explains that modern science and Vedic wisdom, they are both, for a common person, both unverifiable. But the acharyas, they who are very learned and liberated, they accept the scriptures as the truth. So that's why the safe path for us common people is to follow the Shastra through Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Science cannot define even basic things like consciousness. That is the ABC, the kindergarten stuff of spirituality. Then how can science ever reach to finer topics like this? because science is given to us by scientists who are conditioned souls like us. But Shastras, they are given to us by acharyas like Vedvyasji, who are empowered by Krishna. Shastras are not only spiritual, but they are also very scientific. The realizations and the teachings of acharyas, they carry so much potency, transcendental potency, um, which we can fully trust. बिकॉज साइंस का क्या है, साइंस आज आज वो कुछ थियरी प्रूव कर देती है और कल उसी को रॉन्ग प्रूव कर देती है. बट Srimad Bhagavatam, which is accepted by great acharyas and Lord Chaitanya, this is our solid foundation. So these the descriptions of Sheshumar and the whole new world of Vedic cosmology that Bhagavatam is going to open to us is posing is going to pose question to us: faith or empirical evidence? Which one will you choose? Choice is yours. So I choose faith. I'm a very simple, heart-driven person. For me, everything Bhagavatam says is truth. For me, just knowing that Vedvyasji is an incarnation, Sahityak avatar, literary incarnation of Krishna. So for me, whatever he says, he is truth. The truths described in Bhagavatam for me are not only logical, but also, very transformational. But someone may say that I refuse to believe in whatever everything Bhagavatam says. What is the proof that Shishumar is the axis of the universe? Who has seen Garbhodakshaya Vishnu? Where is his photo? Where is the proof that people live, what's said here, 432,000 years in Maharloka? And where even is Maharloka? Where is the evidence? But our argument is that where is the instrument that is capable of measuring this? Has human intelligence reached there yet? So scientists today, they accept the existence of some consciousness beyond brain activity, but Vedic texts have already described Atma, Paramatma, and the science of consciousness long, long ago. Even, I teach some children Bhagavad Gita, and the first thing we teach them is we are not this body, we are soul, we are Atma, we are consciousness. So, you see how boldly Srila Prabhupada is saying that in the creation of the Lord, there are many wonderful things we can see with our own eyes every day and night. But we are unable to reach them equipped by modern materialistic science. So, Prabhupada beautifully says there are many things in our in the many things we see around us. So reminds me of a very beautiful poetry in Hindi. It says, "ये कौन चित्रकार है, ये कौन चित्रकार, हरी भरी वसुंधरा पे नीला नीला ये गगन, कि जिस पे बादलों की पालकी उड़ा रहा पवन, दिशाएं देखो रंग भरी, दिशाएं देखो रंग भरी, चमक रही उमंग भरी, ये किसने फूल फूल पे किया श्रृंगार है, ये कौन चित्रकार है, ये कौन चित्रकार." Even if we see around us who has done this beautiful work of art on flowers, who has created all these directions. So the beauty of nature around us, even if we see that, we should have a question: who created all this? But the answer does not come from any lab. The answer does not come from any microscope. It doesn't lie in the scientific theories or formulas or maths or different scientific instruments. The answer is has already echoed in the hearts of sadhus and seers. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. The creator of everything illuminates their heart because they are in sync with the creator. So, in the words of Srila Prabhupada, who further says we should not therefore depend on the fragmental authority of materialistic science for knowing things beyond the range of scientific purview. So while the material scientist tries to study the creation with machines, a devotee just admires the creation with folded hands to the creator. We don't need a telescope to see the creator. We just need a grateful heart. So the verse we read today, it reminds us, the verses we read today, they remind us that the universe, no matter how vast or how advanced it is temporary. See, it says at the time of final devastation, um, Yogi sees everything, the whole universe burning to ashes, all the planets and everything, he sees them burn to ashes. So the verse is telling us that no matter how vast or how advanced, how complicated, how unfathomable the universe is, but it is temporary. So the yogis, through meditation and detachment to this temporary, they try to build something which is permanent. The spiritual identity, the relationship with the Creator. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 2.69, Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagarti Sanyame Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani Sanisha Pashyato Mune. What is night for a materialist is the day for the yogi. So, even today, we see the saints like Vinod Baba in Vrindavan. They wake up and they literally wake up at 12 a.m. Proving Ya Nisha Sarvabhutanam. When most people go to bed and they wake up and in one sitting until 4 a.m. he chants and then he gives darshan to those who want to see him. So what is night for the materialist is the day for the yogi. Means that, what materialist considers valuable, wealth or fame or possession, comfort or proof, is darkness for the spiritual seeker. And see, this is the same thing Canto 10 was also trying to teach us through Leela. The same thing Bhagavatam is trying to teach us through this Vedic cosmology here. Same thing Canto 10 was trying to teach us through Leela. That, what the yogi values, renunciation, meditation, self-realization, faith, it seems like very pointless and meaningless or invisible for a materialist. It seems like a night, darkness to materialist. For the yogi, the day begins when he awakens to his spirit, when he realizes his true identity beyond this body and mind. So for materialist, his day and his life is filled with sense gratification and illusion, darkness. While the materialist is very busy building his material life, homes and empires, and his reputation and his false ego. Trust me, we are in building business. So many people come to us on daily basis, and we see how much anxiety. Some don't have enough money yet. Some are too young to afford the luxury they are dreaming. Some have even reached their 50s, their mid 50s, and they want the luxury they cannot afford, but they cannot not have it. And then what is left is anxiety, frustration. So most part of life of a materialist goes in building something that is going to burn to ashes. Even the whole universe is going to burn to ashes. So the materialist is spending time building something that is going to separate from them very soon anyways. Um, Materialists spends their most life building a life, a material life, material possessions, something that crumbles with time anyways. But yogi spends the same time, both have the same time, but yogi spends the same time in building something that is eternal, his relationship with the Supreme Lord. Through meditation or devotion, there are 9 processes of devotion to perform for a devotee. And to perform them, 9 processes of devotion, what do you need? Apart from your heart and your mind, what do you need? So, yogi, with his mind, with his meditation, his self discipline, he constructs a spiritual identity that survives death, and it carries him beyond even destruction of universe. Srila Prabhupada often he compared the material life to living in a burning house. He said that you may try to make the house comfortable. You may try to add nice furniture, air conditioning, decorations. But if the house is burning, then you should just simply get out. So the universe, what this verse is telling us, the universe itself will one day be consumed by the fire of Ananta Shesa's breath. So yogi doesn't waste time here. He prepares his consciousness by transferring his attachment from material things to the Creator, to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada explains that um, real intelligence is to invest our energy in what will last forever. Our soul's connection with Krishna. And that's why, as we talked in Nalkuvar and Manigriv pastime also, what was wrong with them? They had lost Vivek Buddhi, discrimination of deciding which way to go. Having this Vivek Buddhi is the real turning point of life. That is the beginning of true spiritual life. Discrimination, the ability to tell what is eternal, what is temporary, and how much important for temporary things, for temporary people, and how much for the eternal. So when this clarity comes, then we start to naturally detach from temporary. We start to naturally detach from material things, and we see our eternal goal, Krishna. And once one turns to Krishna, then there is no turning back. At that point, what once felt very attractive, beauty or wealth or career or power, luxury, it all begins to feel meaningless compared to the bliss that we get out of serving Him. When we see beyond this illusion of matter, and when we fix our heart on Krishna, whether we are a yogi or a devotee, when we fix our heart on Krishna, that is when the night ends, when the darkness of ignorance goes, and the daytime of soul comes, which is the beginning of our eternal life. So on that, it's already 7:30. We will pause here. If anyone has any realizations, any comments, any questions, corrections, please ask. I know it is a lot of new information, but I tried to relate to, these concepts of Shishumar and Shushumna and Vaishwanar. The verses are only describing them as something in universe, but I tried to relate them with us, how they are also reflected within our body. So that's microcosm and macrocosm. So I'll pause here. If anyone wants to say something, please unmute and share. All right. I hope whatever I said made sense. Thank you all for joining and inspiring me to glorify uh, Krishna ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम महापुराण की जय, जगतगुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Have a very blissful Krishna conscious day, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you for a very instructional class, very enjoyable.